Okay, well, I would really like to greatly thank everyone for inviting me today to this amazing, event with so many amazing companies, and actually opening the startup pitches after Elad, which is actually my mentor because I grew up in ADOC, and now I moved to AISAP about 1.5 years ago. And I'm really excited to tell you guys all about a very new solution, a one-of-a-kind AI, which was very newly FDA cleared about 4 months ago, a robust cardiac diagnostic solution for point-of-care ultrasound. AISAP was built about 3 years ago by some brilliant cardiologists at Sheba and some brilliant technologists from the army, obviously, in Israel. Set out for one very important thing, and that's to really change the world of point-of-care ultrasound. For most of you who might know the world of point-of-care ultrasound, we know that today that there is one of the biggest problems in healthcare is really access to imaging. And we know that the stethoscope, which is so 1900, is really not the best way to diagnose someone. And in the last, I would say, somewhere around 8 to 10 years, the world of point-of-care ultrasound has really been a big world that's climbing up in healthcare. But it's still today kind of an eyeballing thing and not really a diagnostic tool. And AISAP was set on the way to really make it from an eyeballing tool to a diagnostic tool. And I'll explain why it's an eyeballing tool. So at the end of the day, point-of-care ultrasound is not intended for the cardiologist. It's not intended for the radiologist. It's mostly intended for the non-specialized physician. And then what happens? You're shifting imaging and having to do an ultrasound from the technician and from being read by a cardiologist or a radiologist. And the problem is that when a physician, let's say in the ED room or in the observation unit or maybe, I don't know, in the outpatient clinic has to do the scan, he's not always comfortable with what he's scanning. And even if he's a very good scanner, he's not always comfortable with the interpretation part, especially of the heart, which is quite a difficult thing. And for this reason, AISAP came in to really revolutionize the world of point-of-care ultrasound by this solution, which was just FDA cleared 4 months ago. 4 simple steps. The first step is an acquisition assistance, which actually helps you understand what you're scanning with real live feedback, letting you know that what you're scanning really is good enough for your eyes, good enough for the AI. And this is a very critical step because we don't want garbage in, garbage out, and we want to make sure that the images are with high enough quality. And this is a big education part, also helping more and more physicians understand what they're scanning. The second part is the diagnostic tool. So we didn't do a one-by-one diagnostic tool where we introduced one algorithm, but these are 11 different algorithms, and probably the first time that an FDA CAT-X, so diagnostic solution for all 4 valvular pathologies was cleared. The third part is keeping the physician always in the loop, having him agree, and then producing a completely billable report with the relevant ICD-10 and the CPT code, injecting it into the EMR and really streamlining the whole POCUS workflow. This is how this solution looks. So you can see here one thing very important to mention, that we're a SaaS, we're not a device, so we're completely vendor agnostic and we can work with any ultrasound that you have. And that you can see here that we don't just tell you, for instance, that you have an aortic stenosis, but what is the severity of your aortic stenosis, so whether it's normal, mild, moderate, or severe. And it's quite important because we know the workflow at the hospital is completely different depending on the severity of the pathology. You can see our line here at the bottom where we mentioned that we're empowering clinicians with AI at the point of care, total body, anytime, anywhere. And you can really see our application is already ready for the next body parts. So cardiac is our first application. And towards the end of the mid-year, we are going to have an additional FDA with a robust abdomen suite, looking at the gallbladder, the bladder, the appendix, the hydronephrosis, so different stuff in the abdomen, followed by lungs and vascular. So we're really set out to really change the world of point-of-care ultrasound and making it a diagnostic piece. And that's pretty much it. So again, we're vendor agnostic, which is quite important. You don't have to buy a new device for this, and we can latch on to any device that you have at the hospital. We started working in the United States. I moved here 4 months ago, starting our commercialization. We have some of our new customers here in the audience as well. So if anybody's interested, feel free to catch up with me. Thank you.